The required text for this class is Understanding Exposure by Brian Peterson. You'll want to make sure you get the 4th edition. And Adobe Photography Creative Cloud software, which is available for download from Adobe. This is about $9.99 a month fee for the software. It does compare favorably, though, with what you might expect to pay if you were to take the class on campus, which has a $60 fee per semester that you don't have to pay. The course is presented in 16 weekly modules. The important thing to remember is that each module concludes at 11:59 p.m. on the Sunday of that week that the module was opened. So what that means is you need to submit all of your assignments and take the quiz if there's one given for that module, etc., before that time. Typically, modules consist of learning objectives, reading, videos and PowerPoints you want to take a look at, the photo assignments, instructions and examples, participation in peer discussions, and the quiz. And there's a quiz in every module except Module 1. Module 1 photo assignment is a simple portrait with a very tightly framed on the subject, and the subject has an engaging expression. And then, as you'll notice, the background is not distracting from the subject. In Module 2, we'll intentionally demonstrate over, under, and correct exposure, which really begins to help us understand how exposure creates photographic outcomes. Creative aperture and depth of field is the objective of Module 3 assignment. On the left, we see a storytelling aperture that creates everything in the photograph is in sharp focus. On the right-hand side, we have an isolation or singular theme aperture, which means we're going for only the main subject is in focus and the background is not distracting, it's actually blurred. In Module 4, we'll use shutter speed techniques to understand and demonstrate how shutter speed affects creative outcomes. On the left, Brittany used a very fast shutter speed of 1/1000th of a second. On the right, she had her camera on a tripod and exposed the photo at 1/30th of a second. So we ended up with subject motion blur. In Module 5, we'll get into advanced composition in a visual variety storytelling project. We'll use wide, medium, close-up, low-angle, and high-angle photos to tell more of a story than we would get from just one photo. The time exposure is another fun assignment that most students say they really enjoy. In this example by Anna, the Littleton Main Street Historic District is in sharp focus because she had her camera on a tripod during the 4 seconds exposure time. On the left-hand side, you'll see nothing but the star trails of the cars, trucks, and buses that went zooming by because they were not stationary long enough for them to show up in the photo. Stephanie in this photograph certainly got into a macro photography situation, and the close-up, extreme close-up, tells us a visual story. And in this case, it makes me want to eat a strawberry. Module 8, the assignment is a photographer profile. You'll research a photographer. You can either pick your own or use the list that I suggest. If you pick your own, just let me know and we'll take a look and make sure that they've made a significant contribution to photography. And in your PowerPoint, you'll have 12 to 15 photos that demonstrate the photographer's best work, and you want to tell us a little bit about what you like about that photographer. The decisive moment is really a cornerstone type of assignment for photojournalism, in which we're trying to capture such things as a fleeting expression, tension about to resolve, or action at its peak. In Module 10, we have a little bit of fun with engaging with the subject and creating an environmental portrait that tells us an immediate story about what the person likes to do as a hobby, what they do as a job or career, or some other pursuit. In this case, Eric has a photo of a barista. Now, we take that photo in Module 11 use Photoshop tools that we'll learn unless you already know about those, and we create a mock magazine cover as an example of how to use a photograph in a strong design. And the environmental photo is widely used in publications and in online media. It's very popular. The next is an example of an assignment that engages in a news feature type story. It's a photograph of an ordinary situation done in an extraordinary way. In Module 13, we'll take a look at how to capture great sports photos that tell the story of the team or individual sport in one photo. Now, Module 14 and 15 are really focused on your photo essay, which is a long-form storytelling that combines narrative and strong visual images. And finally, you'll wrap up the semester in Module 16 by creating your photographic portfolio, which is the proof, I guess, of your accomplishments in this course. Now, you'll want to look in Canvas for details and assignment examples for each module. You'll also see rubrics and evaluation criteria for grading, including assignment deadlines, and of course, the course syllabus.